Hey everyone, welcome to the first video of DC NBA Junkie, where I'll be discussing NBA related content. I am starting a new series called NBA Team Futures, and each day I'll be deep diving into a different NBA team and talking about my stance on each team moving forward from the NBA hiatus. If that seems interesting to you, then feel free to tune in on some nice NBA content. The first team I will be discussing with is the Los Angeles Lakers, my favorite team. They're definitely an intriguing team with the 1-2 punch of LeBron and AD, along with the storylines including the Battle of LA, the Caruso Show, and ultimately the quest for the NBA title. This free agency and next NBA season can be really interesting for them, so let's hop right into it. Before I begin, feel free to drop a like and especially comment any suggestions for some future videos and some series. It'd be really interesting to hear you guys' opinions on some certain video ideas that I could bring in to this channel moving forward, and especially since I will be doing this series with this NBA features with every single team. To start off, for the Lakers, Anthony Davis. And it's an interesting idea right now because of the question of will he resign, because he has declined in January. He announced that he declined his player option going for the 2020-21 season. And this is clearly just so he can get his payday. He's worth way more than what he was going to get, about like $29 million. He will be getting a lot more than that from whatever team that is. But now the question is, will he resign? And ultimately, it doesn't really seem like it's any stretch for Lakers fans. I think Anthony Davis should be resigning. There's no reason for him to leave. The Lakers had the best record in the Western Conference. They were easily on the path of fighting and competing with the Milwaukee Bucks for the first seed. I wouldn't say they're the top record in the NBA, but I'm not going to say that they were completely locked down to get it. But I do think that Anthony Davis he is no doubt one of the more important pieces on this team behind probably LeBron, because LeBron's season was so remarkable, and of how impressive he was playing at this age, and just being able to kind of maintain his level of progression and still play at a top tier. Him and Davis are clearly being great role players. Star players for this team, representing this entire team right now, along with the many role players who are doing their role. And it was very impressive to see this Lakers team come together, especially when they only had 3 players on the roster as they traded for Davis, and they were going into free agency of the 2019 offseason. So So overall, I think Anthony Davis, it's clear he should resign. If he left, it would be very surprising, but there's no doubt in my mind that Davis should not resign to this team. So next, there's expiring contracts. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. It's just Dwight Howard, Jared Dudley, and Markieff Morris. They're not that significant, except Howard. Dwight Howard's had a very important role to this team. Came in not making too much money, and I'm pretty sure his contract wasn't even guaranteed coming into the season, and he clearly worked for that, and he got his contract guaranteed. So, shout out to Dwight. Been a very impactful player for our team. If McGee or even just the starting lineup wasn't doing well in the season, Howard would clearly come in the bench, and he would be a very good spark player, really providing that boost of energy and some really important defensive presence, and as well as some good interior offensive presence. And in terms of like expiring contracts, I don't think we'll be having a hard time getting Dwight Howard back next season. He's played to where he can be earning more money, but I'm pretty sure he should re-sign with us next season, especially since this hiatus has caused, the question of, can we run it back next season? I don't think there's a question of that, so I don't expect any less of Dwight Howard. And then Jared Dudley and Markieff Morris, not going to spend too much time on them. Dudley's a good good bench assist, really good leader for the team and a good veteran presence. And Markieff Morris, hopefully he resigns. He was just here to kind of give us some good bench presence. If he leaves, I don't know if it's a big problem, but yeah. Next would be team chemistry, and that's my question. Going into next season, our team had a very good bond going, and was really one of the more exciting ideas in the NBA of their chemistry and just how well they bonded after just a bunch of new guys, mainly veterans, coming in and just sharing this Los Angeles Lakers team, and just seeing them all to come together and sharing a great bond with each other is something really special. I also want to add in that I really didn't want to do the DeMarcus Cousins leave, but I mean, at the time it made sense. We wanted to kind of keep adding to kind of compete with the Clippers because they were they're clearly our competitors. So I hate to see DeMarcus Cousins go out like that, but that was just unfortunately it's just a business decision, and maybe he could come back next year when he's fully healthy. But that's that. So team chemistry is just a big question for me. I'm really kind of interested to see where this Los Angeles Lakers team goes next season, and because especially since they were having a little a period in, I believe, December and January where they went and started the year 24-3, and then they started having some kind of break, some couple losing streaks that weren't definitely advised. So that's one of my bigger questions coming into their to the next season. Next will be free agency view. This isn't very too much exciting for the Lakers. Ultimately, there won't be many signings because they have a lot of guys under contract for at least till the end of next season. They have some player contracts some player options to need to figure out between Rondo and Pope. Whether or not they decide to pick those up, I think KCP will no doubt pick his up. He was very impactful, but I don't know if any team will be willing to pay him more than that. And Rajon Rondo, I could see him dropping it, but that's ultimately up to him. I think the big thing for me is re-signing everybody and really trying to keep that chemistry and try to revive the chemistry, especially since taking off so much time from the NBA is definitely will take a toll on your team performance. And I also want to add in that because of Danny Green and Pope's contracts, if Pope picks up his option, that's also a reason we're kind of heavy in cap. I mean, we already have 2 max contracts. I mean, Davis will be picking up his re-signing. We'll be re-signing a max whether or not he picks it up. But assuming that he does, we have Green and Pope, and Green making like $15 million and Pope making near $8 million will kind of cause kind of a lack of picking up a lot during free agency, and almost close to none. And lastly, this is the more just a more hypothetical segment and section, and this is just if the season continues, where do I see this Lakers team going? Clearly, if this season continues at this point, I really see it only being a playoff scenario where they're just going in the playoffs, or maybe finishing a few final regular season games and then going into a more condensed playoffs. But for this Lakers team, I do really think that that chemistry is a big thing you have to kind of consider here because they're taking so much time off. But I do think that Davis and LeBron and their leadership can take this team to a good battle with the Clippers. And I'm going to be trying to be as most unbiased as I can, but ultimately just seeing them battle out at least to the Western Conference Finals this year would be really exciting, especially since the Lakers have not seen a light day in the playoffs for, I would believe it's been like 7 seasons. And yeah, that's my ultimate You know, that's like my minimum. I hope to see them there and getting a good battle with the Clippers. But you know, the real ultimate goal is to see them win a title. They are no doubt title contenders. They're them. You know, the Bucks, Clippers. I guess you can consider maybe the Raptors, just you know, teams that are, you know, legitimate contenders. But I do think the Lakers can hold their own up there. And yeah, so that will be that's my ultimate review on this Lakers team going into the next season, and just a little, you know, idea of what I feel like if the season did continue. Uh, Thank you so much for, you know, thank you so much for again for watching the video. Make sure to, you know, give a good subscription. Not gonna, wouldn't hurt if you gave me a, if you subscribed and leave the like, and you know, definitely drop down a comment for some suggestions for these videos and maybe even some future series. So once again, thank you and have a good day.